In this Star Wars Outlaws news update video, I will be sharing with you the patch notes of the first Switch 2 update. Before we do take a look at all of today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Star Wars Outlaws. So, let's get started with the first sign of the game's success on Nintendo Switch 2. The UK physical sales charts for last week have just come out, and in just around 1 or 2 days of sales, Star Wars Outlaws was the 7th best-selling game physically in the UK last week. 75% of the sales were the Switch 2 version, whilst the PS5 had 18% and the Xbox version was 7%. The Switch 2 version physically being the game keycard, so the iteration that people don't want to buy necessarily, the one that people are upset with. Well, it was the 7th best-selling physical copy of a game in the UK last week. As for globally, it has remained the 2nd best-selling game for the past 5 days in a row since its release, just behind Silksong, across almost every single country's eShop, which is pretty epic. The game has also received better reviews than it did a year ago when it did originally come out. Next up, we have some interesting information coming from Ubisoft in an FAQ they posted today on the Switch 2 version. So, in case you're unaware, there is a demo of Star Wars Outlaws on PC, Xbox and PlayStation, but it is not available on Switch 2, at least at this moment in time. I was wondering if they would actually even do it. Well, Ubisoft confirmed that, yes, it will be made available on Switch 2 later this year, and they will share more information soon. This demo takes place on Tatooine a few hours into the game, and basically it just allows you to have 3 hours of exploring the game and doing whatever you want, so that's pretty cool to be honest. And I hope it is released fairly soon so more people can check it out on Switch 2 and maybe purchase the full game. They also say that they will continue to evaluate the game if there is any need for further patches. Well, we just received one at least today, and it's version 1.0.4. It comes in at around 4.5 gigabytes in size. The game is a little bit bigger in its total file size. It comes in at 20.8 gigabytes, so around 600 megabytes larger than it was at launch. Let's now take a look at the full patch notes, starting with some general gameplay improvements. They have fixed several issues where NPCs would not spawn, plus reduced the likelihood of K being stuck when traversing the environment. They've improved hiding and detection when in tall grass on a Kiva, plus various stability improvements and other minor fixes. In the graphics department, they've made improvements to the visual quality when moving quickly through the world or using binoculars, with less LOD pop-in. Flickering with smoke and lighting has been reduced, and shadows have been improved at the edge of the screen when moving in certain cities and stations. The quality of leaves, cloth and other things that let light through have been improved, and various other small visual fixes and improvements have been made. They fixed camera movement when traversing certain objects in certain ways with K, and fixed the controller image types and directional button prompts when switching between the Joy-Cons and Pro Controller. There was an issue where the gadget inventory HUD was not resizing when using the handheld preset custom scaling settings. That's now been fixed, and a couple of fixes have been made to the DLC, so they fixed an issue where NPCs would not be highlighted when using Nix to plant a card. As for a pirate's fortune, Minox are now visible when attached to your ship. So that's the first update made to Star Wars Outlaws on Switch 2. It was already a great release, but this has addressed a bunch of issues that players have reported so far, and improved graphics a little bit here and there, which is nice to see already in just a few days after release. It will be interesting to see if anything else is improved. I'm not sure there will be much improvement because it's such a good release on Switch 2 for the most part, aside from the occasional bugs here and there which are, well, not so big, and of course performance isn't really going to get any big improvement either. I would highly recommend checking out my previous videos where I go more in depth on the Switch 2 version if you are still undecided, if you do want to learn more about that version. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below. Drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws videos, and if you do miss any of my previous videos, be sure to click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.